All right. So we got a lot of properties going on here. Can I go ahead and reduce the inside here on the bottom? Can I perform the quotient rule right now? Can I perform the quotient rule right now and bypass everything else? No, we got to do some order of operations. So in order of operations, what happens first? Parentheses. So I need to look to see if I can combine these. Like our last problem we just had where I could combine them first, I need to check and see, is there any product rule inside of here? There's not, because of why? Different bases. Outstanding terminology. Okay, and so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to distribute our 5/4. Okay, now two things you can do. I can go ahead and distribute this, or what does that negative 5/4 do to everything inside of there? What does it do to everything inside of there? It flips it. Okay? Now here's the reason why I'm going to distribute it first, because if I flip it, I need to know what's that doing to this fraction inside here. It's already negative. So it's going to flip it and flip it, right? And so if I go ahead and distribute it, then when I flip it, I'm only flipping one thing at one time. So I'm going to perform the product or the power rule first. So I'm going to go 5/4 times both of those, and that's going to give me x negative 1/2 times negative 5/4 is positive 5/8. Positive 5/8. My marker tip's getting fat. All right. Now you see I wouldn't have to flip the x because it changed it to positive. All right. The square becomes negative 10/4. The bottom had nothing going on, so it's going to stay. All right. Now I can perform the negative power rule, which is going to take this one right here, move it to the bottom for the inverse. You need to understand that terminology inverse because we're fixing to deal with some inverses here in just a little bit in our lesson. And I'm flipping it is what I'm doing. I'm changing it to its opposite. I'm flipping it. I'm doing the reciprocal. Can't think of any other terminology you need to know there, but you need to start planning that in your head, that inverse is reciprocal, flipping it, its evil twin. It's the evil twin and it's nice guy. Okay? So. And this is going to be y to the 1/2, oh sorry, yeah, 1/2 times y to the positive 10/4. So 2. All right. What rule happens in the bottom? What rule happens in the bottom? Well, tell me. We'll perform it then.
Well, you multiply to see what gets you that.
Not yet, because I have the y's are split, right? So what rule happens there? Product. The productive rule. We're going to put them together. I bet you anybody else that watches our videos go, what in the world are they doing in that class? Okay, and this is going to become y to the what? We got 1/2. This is what's happening out here. We got 1/2 plus 10/4. No.
18/4. Yeah, 18/4.
So you converted it to a common denominator of 4. Can I not reduce the 10/4 and make it 5/2? And now I have a common denominator of 2 because your 18/4 is going to reduce to the same thing, isn't it? All right. And so we got two options here. One, we can make this in forms of 4, which means it's going to be 2/4 plus 10/4. which will be 12 over 4. Do y'all agree with that? Is that another way to write 1/2 in base of 4? Or it could be 1/2 plus 5/2 because 10 over 4 reduces by 2. And my common denominator could be 2. And so 12 over 4 and 6 over 2 all reduce to 3, right?
I said
Okay, I mean, you go 3.
three.
I know, that's why I didn't answer you. Okay, and so they both reduce to 3, and so this becomes that right there? Is that correct? Do I have to rationalize anything? Now, let's look and see what would happen if I did quotient rule right here. What happens if I do quotient rule right there? That would be 5/8 minus 2, or 2 over 1. What's the common denominator? 8. Is 8 the common denominator? All right, and so 5 over 8 does not change. What's another way I can write 2 in base of 8? Very good. Over 8, which becomes what? Negative 11 over 8. Negative 11 over 8. And so that would put us in the denominator with that, correct? Do they have it written as our answer as a rationalized, or did they leave it as I have it here? Look on this, Coach, and see how they left their answer. I don't know if they did the product or the quotient rule. Huh? This is 21.
Yeah, just X is 5 over 8, Y 3, X.
Okay, so they left it like this. Okay, so leaving it like this, I think if we go ahead and start trying to do other work, we're going to go back to the original problem. We'll get back to this right here, which we already have. All right? Bam.